So here we are at Age of Mythology. I came about this close to just calling it because obviously I'm not in a great mood. This is not the game I wanted to play. I thought I was going to be picking up something that's pretty close to Ameritrash here in terms of I wouldn't have to make all these stupid decisions and everything. Now, well, I've resigned myself to finishing it, but I'm not going to think. I'm just going to kind of play it out on automatic here and not try to make big decisions. So what do we have going on? Well, the first player was the Greeks, and they managed to build up a huge army off one of their special cards. Which one? If we paw through this, we can get it. It's a recruit. They used their god power, got 2 extra archers, and also actually bought 4 units. Something pretty good. They have a pretty potent army now. Now, the other one, let's move some of these here. The Egyptians, they actually didn't get very far. They did some exploring, played around, maybe built something, I don't know, maybe the storehouse, I'm not sure. Looks likely. But their exploration, they ended up not drawing a tile from. The only person who got it was the Greeks, because a couple of hills came up. Nobody else could play those. And the only other things that were up weren't valuable enough for the type of terrain they were filling. The Norse mainly, both the Greeks and the Norse did a production turn, and the Norse were able to put all their men out. They had built a lot of houses last turn, so they're generating a pretty good engine there, and they have a decent sized army. Of course, everybody's got a decent sized army. It's just the Greeks have a huge one. Nobody's advanced to the next level though. Nobody's got any heroes. The game might end without people going further because there's an absolute time limit. 3 of those get used every turn. So as long as people aren't really paying attention or trying to win, who knows what's going to happen, right? But this is the best I could do at this point, I'm afraid. Well, the Egyptians are going first, and they have one of their special cards here, Gather Food. This will give them 2 extra food per food tile if they play the God ability, and they're going to do that. It only can be used for gathering food, I suppose, unlike some of the others. And put this under here, but they get to move some of their people around, and they'll do that. They're short on wood, so they're going to produce an extra... Oh, no, they're not short on wood. They're short on blues now, so they'll produce an extra blue. And then what do they get for food? Well, remember they get 2 extra per food tile, so they're going to really rack it in here. So they get 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 2 extra wood, 2 extra gold, and 12 food. And actually, they're not going to take a blue there, they're going to take another food, because that's going to deprive other people. You see, the secret here is they have a trade card in their hand they're planning on playing. So since they have to pay a cost of 2 resources to get that to work anyway, they're gonna might as well take food. Might as well take more food and reduce other people's holdings. Speaking of which, let's go over here. Now, I'm assuming this is only for the current player. Everyone else just gathers food, so he gets 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 food. There's only 7 to take. He also gets a wood. Now, if he had, yeah, he does, the wood workshop, he doesn't get to collect off that. You can only collect off those if you're the guy who plays the card, remember? Alright, so we go to him. He's not going to get any food, but he does get a couple of wood. And he's kind of cursing his luck here that he went there. Anyway, we'll go on to the Norse player, see what he has to do about this. So the green player also did a gather, and did a gather all special one, which got them a horde. The Egyptians now have a huge amount of stuff. They're going to play their next age card. They don't need the trade card. However, at this point I noticed something kind of interesting. As they enter into not holding great cards for what's going on, but as they enter into the classical age, how do I mark that? See if the rules tell me. Seems like something one should have. Of course, I don't really expect them to tell me even if there is an answer in the way that I can tell. But what do we have here? And advances to the next stage. Right-hand corner of their player board with a cube or unit. Okay, well, I guess we can mark that we are now in the ancient age. I don't know how to do that, but that's not the we're in the classical age. I don't know how to mark that precisely because I don't have the right counter to do that, right? I can take somebody else's and mark it that way, and maybe that'll help me remember. But as it stands right now, it's not very easy. Anyway, that's their move. They advanced in age. They've got way too much stuff, even with their storehouse, so they're probably going to have to do a trade to reposition their goods, because fighting won't help them. Well, the Egyptians did the trade and balanced themselves out. Then the Norse went and they played a gather, picked food, swept up almost all of the food. 3, 6, 8, filling themselves up. They positioned their people so that they too are nearly full with their storehouse. Everybody has a storehouse now. The Greeks took, and they've got a little extra production, so they've got to do something with that. I guess they'll play a trade card. It's a bonus trade card to try to equalize their own production so they can hold it all. So, another turn's passed. I have to figure out my discards. He's not going to hold them. That's not a cool enough card. He played one of those and only took like 3 units. Because everybody moved up to all resources and all resources. He's going to hold both of them. Those are good cards. Everybody moved up to the next age, the classical age. And I think the Greeks didn't get a hero out of it. But, whatever. Troops were built. One thing that I'm noticing, leaving a space of a particular type doesn't seem to be all that valuable. They suggested in the rules, well, I'm feeling like people are falling behind on production by not having those spaces. It's not maybe as bad as not having villagers. The Norse have this huge advantage on villagers, and they still haven't played. I don't know if they had an option to. They have a dwarf who they can do something special with, similarly. And I haven't really looked. May go berserk and add 2 dice. I haven't looked at all of these. So again, these have their special abilities. But I assumed they were all combat, and they're not. The dwarf, for example, gathers 2 extra gold when he's in a gold production site, as though he's a villager, kind of. Which is kind of cool. But anyway, what I'm looking at is the production isn't that big. Having a 1 or a 2 production space isn't that big a deal. Speaking of production spaces, one of my tiles, after I clipped it, fell apart. I think it's in the bag, I'm not sure. I have to glue it back together, but kind of a weird thing. Those aren't terribly well held together, it seems. At least one of these things is separate from its base from jumbling around in the bag. So the components, while it looks like that was a major factor in it, the cards are kind of flimsy. They aren't that high a quality when it comes out to it. But, I'm not going to complain too much about that compared to you know, the little plastic pieces that are really hard to distinguish and hard to evaluate, you know. But especially with things like the, I guess it's the Jarls, I don't know, and the Valkyrie are so similar. Just kind of disturbing. But they all have their little special abilities, and I don't know, if I'm in the mood for that, it's great. Right now, I guess I'm just not terribly in the mood. Green, whether right or not, the Greeks, has decided we've fallen behind, certainly behind the Norse. We're going to open up with an attack. Only 4 counters for each side. And this is a regular card. They're going to attack the land. They want these hills. And we get to decide what forces to send. Well, I'm not sure. I think both players get to choose secretly. So there is going to actually be a battle. And by the way, the Greeks put a counter over on the one last battle, hoping to get a victory point off this too. So let's see. The attacking player selects both an opponent and an area. Both sides secretly select their units and then reveal them, and then they select their cards. So here, you know, I got to paw through my cards. I got most everything, and got to kind of try to outguess and outplay someone. So I know he's got giants, cav, so. I don't have a manticore. I didn't buy one of them yet. I believe I have a centaur. Those are good against archers and flyers. I don't know if I bought myself a hero. I don't think so. So I don't have any of the different heroes, which is a pity. And then I got my specials. Did I get a Cyclops? Shit, I can't tell. I don't think so. I got my normals. I think I have a Hydra. They're good against warriors. And they are giants. Okay. So I'm going to take my Hydra. Now, I'm going to take my Medusa. Uh-oh. Oh, yeah. And I'm going to take my Centaur. And those are definitely going. Yes, they're all mythics. Then I want to think. What else do I want to do? Well, I'm good against cav or mortals. I'm good against flyers or warriors, heroes and archers. I'm going to take myself a horseman. You know, I don't know if that's good or bad, but that's what I'm selecting. Shit, almost made a mess there. Okay, so that's going to be the Greek army. I don't know how, you know, that matches up, and I'm not going to put a hell of a lot of thought in it. And those aren't battle cards. Those are something else, because there's so many damn decks. He's got a big bonus against giants. Now, I don't know if he has... You know, he has a Minotaur. Why didn't he bring a Minotaur? I don't know. He didn't think about it. I got trolls. They're good against cav. That doesn't sound too interesting. Valkyrie. They're good against archers. So. Oh, frost giant. I like the frost giant. I definitely want one of them. I'll bring that with me. I want the Nidhogg. Whatever that is. If I can find it. I think that's this. I'll bring that. I definitely want my hero. Where's he? A mythic, not a Norse, a classical. He's got a bonus against mythics. So let's see if I can figure out where he is. Here's one of them. Okay, that's 3. I'm allowed one more. I'm gonna bring my dwarf. Okay. Now what am I gonna do? You know what? I'm just going to randomly pick. Yeah, I know. That sucks. Crap. Bad rolls. Okay. I'm going to open up with my hero for him. And he wants to... Jeez, I don't know. He wants a giant killer. I'll put the Medusa up. Okay, let's see what we got here. 9 dice to 5. Medusa wins all ties in battle. Okay, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and yeah, I know. To 5. I've got to roll all these. How many 6s? Well, the attacker got 2. Defender got 1. Medusa's dead. Boom! Okay, well, we'll take her out of the battle. And now, I got a problem. I am going to sneak the hip. Now, he still gets to pick what he's doing, and I'm going to roll him. 3. He switched to the Nidhogg. Okay, so what's our difference here? Well, this guy only gets bonuses against heroes and archers. This is not that. This guy gets bonuses against giant killers. It's not that, so it's only 7 to 3. 4, 5, 6, 7 to 3. That doesn't sound good. No one hit. They keep going. No one hit. And this is the fun of buckets of dice, isn't it? No one hit. Yeah. God, I love dice, don't I? Ah, the Norse hit. Okay, so the Hippocon or whatever is dead. And now I'm seeing I'm down to very few options. I'm going to withdraw from the battle. Unless archers and flyers, warriors. See, I've got the dwarf here or something, who's got a big bonus against this. This guy's got a big bonus against myth, and he cannot be outdiced. So he can get a +4 dice to anything. They're going to pull back, and that gives the last battle over to the Norse again. And they get all their stuff back. And whoop whoop, that sucked for the Greeks. Alright, I'll finish up this turn just to get it all in one vid. Well, we've gone around a little bit further, and it's really hard to remember what's happened because it's so uninteresting and so Euro-ish. Yeah, but it really is. These videos are not intended for this kind of game, I think. Alright, we did some production though. The Norse did a big production, Gather All, and I got no clue what the Greeks did for their second one. I don't remember. Oh yeah, they moved to the next stage. And the Egyptians, I think, had done this too. So now 2 of them are in the heroic age. But the Egyptians then played and built the most expensive thing they could with their 1 card, which was a tower, to try to get rid of some of their production. And now we got a big 4-card build by the Norse, but it has a god power, and they can spend 1 blue to destroy that tower. Excellent. Well, they just have pissed everyone off now, but whatever. And now I'm going to build them some buildings. They're looking at the big points for most buildings, which they haven't been the only one putting points in that. Remember, the Egyptians put points in it early, and now they're in the lead and put points in, but they're planning on building a lot of buildings, perhaps just houses, to get their production up as high as they can. Okay, and we made it through pretty much the rest of the turn. Now, the Norse took a bonus. They had that big build and built houses. They built the monument, the armory, and bang! What did they add to that? Well, the Egyptians did a gather all resources, lots of money over on the Norse. They managed to have enough to build the Great Temple afterwards with another card, and now they're really in a position to just rock on. They're the only people still stuck back in the classical age, though. Everybody else is in the heroic age, which gives a potential combat advantage. However, on their side, they have the armory, which gives them an extra unit in battle, and the siege engine workshop, which gives them an advantage on attacking. Well, it gets rid of towers and walls in terms of they don't have an effect, and it gives you an additional building destruction if they go far bunny and try to destroy buildings. Everyone else is looking to bring them down at this point, all two of them, but it may be too tough a job. And hey, we got lots of stuff here. First of all, this moves, but then people have to make decisions on discarding cards, and these resources, especially the Egyptian pile, have to be reduced. They did that big build. They thought they'd get the bigger advantage out of it. Turns out the Norse did, being able to actually buy with that. They're still going to have to discard some stuff, but we'll see. Now the poor Greeks have almost nothing left, and they're really pretty screwed. So here's where we sit before card draws and before placement of victory points, but we'll do that as well. But to partially explain the victory point placement that probably is going to happen. The Great Temple means that the Norse can start playing trade cards and just turning blue, 8 of them, into red chips out of here, shortening the game, increasing their hold on victory points. With their huge hold on buildings right now, if they can end things quickly, they're in pretty good shape. So, the other players are looking at how can they beat them. Well, the easiest thing is to throw points into the Wonder. They're a step ahead and try to build towards that. But they also do want to kind of try to gang up and destroy the Norse. So it's going to be a tough decision who's going where, what they're doing. Because the Norse army isn't necessarily all that potent. It just kind of got lucky in the picks. So, at least with the last one. The first battle, they were more powerful. But in this last one, they were an even fight. All right, I'm going to wrap this and send it up.